So here's the real reason we started making Riftbound content. My summoner name has been Ahri's boyfriend for 15 years, so I'm extremely excited to tell you all about her Riftbound legend. Whether it's controlling how mighty your opponents are, or manipulating their movements, Ahri's allure has those and more. Ahri is a legend that has a mind and calm domain type, with an ability that states when an enemy unit attacks a battlefield you control, give it -1 might, reducing their might to no less than 1. Ahri has 2 chosen champion cards, one being Ahri Alluring, a calm 5 cost 1 calm recycle 4 might unit that has a passive, when I hold, you score 1 point, which is pretty busted. The other being Ahri Inquisitive, a 3 cost 1 mind recycle 3 might unit that when she attacks or defends, gives an enemy unit at that battlefield -2 might for the turn, to a minimum of 1 might. Her signature spell Foxfire costs 3 energy and may be played hidden or as an action. It allows you to kill any number of units at a battlefield with a total might of 4 or less. So if there are 4 1 might units, or 2 2 might units, or 1 4 might unit, or 1 2 might unit and 2 1 might units, so on and so forth, and they are on a singular battlefield, they get wiped.
But what if there is all might units?
I don't know how to respond to that one, Mike. From the get-go, Ahri has a game plan that tries to disarm her opponents with her charm, making what might seem like an overwhelming number putty in our hands. With her 2 chosen champion card possibilities, being a champ that helps play into our unit might reduction, and a champ that helps us score more points when we're able to hold, which is inherently easier when our legend helps us to reduce their might when they want to take over our battlefield, forcing our opponent to commit more resources on one battlefield over another. Being able to manage how many units our opponent needs to send at us and how well we can reduce their board and lure them into an unfair fight is key to our strategy, punishing them for chasing the fox. Now it's time to set our stage. Stages are the way we really hope to hone in on our control-based strategy, so here's a couple for our consideration. Fortified position is a battlefield that states when we defend here, choose a unit. It gains shield 2 this combat, meaning it will gain +2 might while being a defender. This is the most straightforward way to control a battlefield. Shrink our opponent's attackers down and pump our defenders up. Grove of the God Willow is a battlefield that allows us to draw 1 when we hold here, which will be easy enough given our ability to completely lock out a battlefield from looking appetizing to our opponent while helping us to draw options. And the Arena's Greatest is a battlefield that, at the start of each player's beginning phase, that player gains 1 point. A battlefield card that helps us capitalize on quick, fast point scoring in tandem with our Ahri Alluring champion card. Giving us another source of quick point buildup is a great way to create openings for victory. This card is also great in the mirror as it helps you get ahead of your opponent who has the exact same game plan. And our final battlefield to consider is Targon's Peak, which allows us to choose 2 runes and ready them at the end of this turn, provided we conquered here on the same turn. Having 2 runes ready helps us immensely for the amount of reaction spells we'll be able to play in preparation for the clapback. Ahri has a great deal of reaction spells to help us add some playful chaos to our opponent's game plan, while advancing our own game state. With the first of these spells being Charm, a 1 cost calm spell. It's a great disruptive tool that could move an opponent's unit card straight into our battlefield where we have the advantage, or any battlefield in general, triggering our defender abilities as well as giving us the timing for some reactionary spells to be thrown down. Funnily enough, this card is also a menace in multiplayer formats, where we could charm one of our opponent's units into another opponent's battlefield. Stupefy, a mind 1 cost reaction spell, lets us give a unit -1 might for the turn to a minimum of 1, then draw a card, which feeds into our overall strategy of might reduction and setting up and replacing itself in hand. Smokescreen is a 2 cost recycle 1 mind reaction spell that gives a unit -4 might this turn to a minimum of 1, which helps us shrink down large targets. Discipline is a 2 cost reaction spell that gives a unit +2 might this turn and draw 1. Again, helping us to replace it in hand while going the opposite way of increasing our might ourselves instead of shrinking the might of our opponents. Retreat is a 1 cost mind reactionary spell that allows us to return a friendly unit to its owner's hand. Then its owner channels 1 rune Exhausted, which is great for saving and retreating off of battlefields while gaining us some resource ramp to help pay for that retreating unit's cost on the next turn. Windwall is a calm reactionary spell, 3 cost, 2 calm recycle, which allows us to counter a spell, which is a must for protecting our pieces. Speaking of protection, Zonia's Hourglass is a 2 cost gear card that can be played hidden. This card allows us to, the next time a friendly unit dies, kill this gear instead. Recall that unit back to base exhausted. Note this action does not count as a move, a great way to out your enemy's removal. Consult the Past is a mind reactionary spell with a cost of 4, which can be played as hidden, or as a reaction, allowing us to draw 2. Singularity is a mind spell with a cost of 6 and 2 mind recycle, allowing us to deal 6 points of damage to each of up to 2 units, allowing us to remove a wide threat or a tall one. And for punishing our opponents for even thinking they can step up to us, and if we've successfully baited them, we'll use On Guard, a reactionary 1-cost calm spell that gives a friendly unit +1 might this turn. Then an additional +1 might if it's the only unit on this battlefield, which really helps our Ahri alluring, especially if they feel like she's an easy catch. So we've gone over some spells, but we're going to need more help than that to claim those battlefields. The same way members claim access to our videos up to 2 weeks early as a thank you for supporting our channel, as well as emotes and other great perks. Without your support, we couldn't start covering Riftbound as well as the One Piece trading card game. Starting us off on units that we're playing, Ravenbloom Student, a 2-cost 2 might unit with the triggered ability, when you play a spell, give me +1 might this turn, is an absolute shoo-in for this deck. We can couple this card with most any of our might increasing or shrinking spells to help widen the might disparity between your opponent's unit and this unit. On Guard combined with this unit is a nasty combo that helps us remove and survive against some key threats, giving us +2 on our least optimal to +3 on our most. Stalwart Poro waddles on by as a 2-cost 2 might unit with shield. While this unit is a defender, add +1 to its might. As we are primarily a hold deck, this unit funnels into our strategy while being lower in cost. Lecturing Yordle is a 3-cost 2 might tank, which must be assigned combat damage first. With an on-play, draw 1 card. Being able to soak up an opponent's incoming attack is great, and replacing itself in hand is extremely helpful, especially when looking to extend into some spells to help protect our battlefields. Now taking those 2 previous keywords and combining them into 1 card, 3-cost 3 might Sunlit Guardian is a tank unit with shield, and supremely good at holding a field. With 4 might as a defender that our opponents need to target first, they'll have a hard time removing it without the use of some spells. Sprite Mother, a 4-cost recycle 1 mind 3 might unit, helps us to shore up our defenses and secure a battlefield for the win by creating a 3 might sprite token with temporary when you play her. By swarming a field under our control with Sprite Mother and a sprite token, you'll almost always keep that field locked down in our favor, as our opponent has to get rid of more bodies than they've bargained for. And rounding out our list is Thousand-Tailed Watcher, a whopping 7-cost 1 mind recycle 7 might unit. Seinen has Accelerate, which allows us to play an additional mind rune to have him enter our base or captured battlefield as ready, and an on-play that gives all enemy units -3 might this turn to a minimum of 1. This oppressive Foxlord immediately impacts the board and almost acts as a win more card, but it's a great way to get ready to secure 2 battlefields provided we are able to stabilize to that point. So we're really trying to hone in on Ahri's hold and defense strategy with these units that help us take favored fights, in tandem with our spells, by shrinking their might and increasing our own. Cards like Charm can move weaker units off an adjacent battlefield into our Ravenbloom Student, who could easily outclass might and insulate itself from any reaction spells our opponent might play by making them overcommit resources or spells into them. And if they do, playing our own spells out into the chain really helps to get one over them. Same goes for our tank and shield units with cards like Sprite Mother and Thousand-Tailed Watcher to hammer the final nails into their coffin. With our units out of the way, what accompanying allied champions help further our game plan? Remember, the name of the game is to lock down and hold a field and to have our runes ready for spells that facilitate that. Sona Harmonious does just that as a 4-cost recycle 1 calm 4 might champion unit while she's at a battlefield, ready for friendly runes at the end of your turn, which is huge for our game plan. Having a Sona on the field lets us spend as many runes as we need to on our turn and still have plenty held up for reactionary spells on our opponent's turn, making our playline options branching wide while we watch our opponent tackle and struggle against the possibilities and playlines needed to fight us on board. One thing that really breaks a hold strat is your opponent loading up on the other field and being almost unconquerable in turn while picking at your side with ping and burn spells. Blitzcrank and Passive is here to throw a hook into that plan. As a 5-cost recycle 1 calm 5 might champion unit with tank, his on-play allows you to move an enemy unit into the battlefield you played him on, and when he holds, he is returned to his owner's hand. It's basically a charm that soaks up an attack and fights back. The return back into our hand also assures our ability to keep doing it to our opponents to pick off their board piece by piece as we set up to enter that now weakened field with Thousand-Tailed Watcher. Speaking of which, Kaisa Evolutionary is a 6-cost recycle 1 mind 6 might champion unit. She features the keyword ganking, and when she conquers, you may play a spell from your trash with an energy cost less than your current points total without paying its cost. After that, you recycle it to the bottom of your main deck. Kai'Sa is a powerful champion, able to move to where she's needed with her ganking trait. Having her played in a battlefield we control to then start to take over another battlefield puts us in game-breaking spots, especially when we now have access into all of the spells we've played before. Are you on the back foot? Cheat out a Singularity spell, consult the past to get our hands back up, or better yet, a Foxfire to go wide and spread damage out wide for the next conquer. All in all, Ahri is a tricky deck meant only for the cunning and clever. In multiplayer, she's a great disruptor who can snag the win from conniving plots with players in the reaction stack and make sly king-making movements. In the solo bolo, she's a might-manipulating menace, luring our opponents into a false sense of confidence as they rush at our characters expecting spell damage, only to receive might-based removal. Who knew this fox had hands? Her hold and defense strategy, however, does make the game harder if your opponent decides to just heavily lean on the other battlefield. So scoring fast and early is majorly important. Going first is imperative, as we get to set the pace of the game by conquering our preferred battlefield and sticking on it. And as always, here are a couple of decks to get you started. This deck placed 58 in a 512 player tournament at the Chongqing Regional. And here's a list that I came up with. And if you're looking for more champion guides or more fun Riftbound content, check out the channel and subscribe.
Come on, Luke. I want to conquer more battlefields with you.
Let's go, Ahri.